Okay, we are live.
Amazing.
All right. Sorry, I'm just looking at how weird I looked in the beginning as I was kind of like doing that with your product. I was trying to read, my eyes. It's like I gotta squint a little.
Mhm.
Um, your product only has four ingredients, so it's not the product that's the problem. It's my eyes.
Well, it is small font. I mean, let's be
Okay, yes.
fair. Let's be fair. But yeah,
Yes. Okay, that is true. But man, I'm having this problem lately, where you can't, anyway, you don't know, you're too young. Anyway, welcome,
very kind
Dasha.
of you.
I'm so glad we could chat. This is going to be fun. So if anyone is watching either the live or later, I'm Lynn with Masami and the Conscious Beauty Collective. I'm here with Dasha, and she has a beautiful brand called MAXUS Beauty, MAXUS Nails. But she has a bunch of interesting products that I think are really relevant, especially for people like me. My nails always look crappy. I don't do anything. See, I think people are either turning into like this, like nothing, or the full bling. There's very few in-betweeners anymore.
Correct. That is
But
correct.
anyway, we can get into that. But anyway, well, thank you for joining.
This is very exciting. This is my first YouTube live, and I should have. I actually am very excited. I want to send a note to all my friends to watch.
Well, they can always watch it. That's the beauty of it. It shows up in our channel and then I can post the
Awesome.
link and it's just easy, easy peasy. And with TikTok being who knows what these days, I'm finding YouTube has been a good platform. So
YouTube's reliable, although TikTok is incredible, I have to say.
I haven't cracked it. So maybe you've gotten better luck than me. I just was never able to really crack it.
I more so on a personal level.
Okay.
I just love it so much.
I mean, I'm like you. I find myself going down the rabbit hole of not just YouTube, but Facebook videos. I'm a sucker for a dog video. Oh my God,
Oh,
it knows me. It's got the
oh,
algorithm down. It is
mm.
serving me up like dogs and chickens, dogs and monkeys,
Oh, it's so
dogs
good.
and pigs, all kinds of crazy. And I'm eating
Yes.
it up. I'm loving it
Yes.
all.
Yes. Yes. I love when it gives me just the stuff that I want to watch. And it knows me so well. And I just love it so much more than Instagram because I feel like Instagram, you're just going the dark hole. Because at that point, it's just a free for all. It's
Yeah.
like a dark market. You're just there and you just see all these different videos and it just takes you in different alleys that you might not want to go to, but you're going because they're there. But
That's
TikTok
funny.
is
I never
really,
thought of it that way, but you're
yeah,
right.
it really is. Yeah. But TikTok is it's just this wonderful place where it's like, oh, you like kittens? I'm going to show you these kittens. And then you go on and you look at the kittens and you're like, oh, my soul is happy. And then you get off because you got your time of the stuff that you
Got
wanted to
your
see.
fix.
Yeah, you got your fix, your soul is happy, and then you get off and then you're able to go on with your day where Instagram just sucks you in.
Oh my God. Well, that's the key is getting off because sometimes I find it's hours and hours. Sometimes my husband will be like looking at car videos for hours and hours, and
Mhm,
sometimes they're the same. I'm like, you already watched that one.
mhm,
Like,
mhm.
dude. Anyway, we digress. But let's talk about you and your brand. We could talk about that stuff forever because it's fun. But let's talk about you and your brand. Because you've had your brand for a while. And you are definitely filling a need because, like I said in the beginning, my nails are a mess. They don't look, I mean, they're
Well,
pretty
we could
bad.
fix that. They're not bad at all. They look
They're,
good.
yeah,
They're just short, which is not
I am
bad.
someone, I pick on my cuticles. My
Mm,
daughter
that's not.
does it too. My mom does it too. Like, I don't know if it's just, I don't know, but we all do it and it's awful. And they're not looking horrible now, but there are times when
Hmm.
I will have like, you know,
And that's why you need the Hobo Leave It. That's why you
yes.
need the cuticle butter.
Let's talk
Because
about that. Let's
let
talk
let
about that because
so
this
let
is brilliant. And I actually think you're right. And a lot of people need it and don't realize it because there are so many, I have so many friends that are like me that are just
Mhm.
nervous energy, right? We're just
Yes.
like, Mm-mm-mm.
Yes. So instead, you can use that nervous energy for something good to apply product on your cuticles. Because what's happening is when you're picking them is when they're dry, right? And especially right now,
Yes.
weather, our hands become dry. And the more that we wash dishes, which by the way, anytime you wash dishes or do any sort of housework, you have to wear gloves. That is a must. That is the
I
biggest,
never do.
you have to wear gloves. You have to because your nails are extremely porous by nature. So the more that you immerse them into water, the more they absorb it, the more that it disrupts the nail layers. And then they become softer. It disrupts the moisture within the nail plate. They become softer. They start peeling.
Mm.
And then that's when you notice all of the damage. So I highly recommend to get the gloves that have cotton inside, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get any of the gloves that will then add more moisture because your hands are sweating inside the gloves, right? So you always want
Right.
to make sure you get cotton lined gloves, and always use them. And that is hard to do because you have to tell yourself that every single time.
Yes, it's
You
a
got to put
change
those
in
gloves on.
habit.
It's changing habit.
That's the problem because so much stuff is on autopilot.
Hmm.
And I think they say, how long does it take to form a new habit? Something like 20 something days, or
Yes,
I
I
can't
think like 28
remember,
days, something like that. Yep.
something like that. But
Hmm.
like it takes a while. Like it's not like you do it once and you're like, I got it. It's
Hmm.
so easy to just revert back. But I learned something today. Thank you. I did
Oh
not
no,
know
I'm going to
that.
teach you so many things. Just wait.
Oh my God. Like,
This is my favorite thing, and that's really what it inspired me with my other businesses is that the things that I've learned when going to school, because when I was developing the product line for Maxus, it started as Maxus Nails, and now it's sort of developed into Maxus Beauty because I went
yep.
towards skincare. But when I was developing the line, I attended school and I received a nail technician degree, a certification. And when I was in school, the things that I learned, I was just absolutely horrified, like
Yeah.
just horrified. And the one thing that I think horrified me the most that I'd love to share is that when you go to get a pedicure and the way that you are properly supposed to clean. First of all, you're obviously supposed to clean the foot basin, which we see, right? We see them clean. But in
With a little
reality,
spritz.
yes, yes, which is great. Good, 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 good. But when you have jets and you have pipes, what happens if you don't disinfect, if you don't run a disinfectant solution, which you should after every single client,
Oof.
depending on the type of disinfectant solution you use, typically it's 10-15 minutes. You're supposed to let that run between every client, which have you ever seen that done?
Never.
Never.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm just trying to, and when I lived in New York City for 25 years, I used to get pedicures
mhm. So here's
once a
what
month,
happens.
once every couple weeks.
Here's what happens.
Ah,
When you don't run the water and you don't get them out of the pipes, that water stays there from the previous person and then the previous person, and then it just mixes in the foot basin when they turn on the jets.
oh no.
And it becomes a cesspool, and it that is where fungus thrives. So that is why so many women have fungus on their toenails, because they don't realize that they are basically paying for their fungus by
Oh
going to
wow.
these salons and getting these pedicures. So when I learned that, I was like, oh my God. First of all, I realized I never gotten a proper pedicure. I've never had probably a licensed nail technician working on me, because the other things that I learned about just using the tools, the way you're supposed to clean them in between. Like, how many times have you gone to a nail salon and they used a nail file on you and you could barely see the writing because it's so old?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. Those files are a one-time use. They're supposed to throw them out after
Oh,
every
that's
single
like, I'm
client.
just getting disgusted just
It
listening
is
to this.
disgusting the things that you learn. And but we as consumers, like, we don't know that. And I was really offended. I was really upset at the industry because I thought it's the same thing as us going to a doctor's office, right? Like, you're gonna
Right.
go to a doctor's office and
Yeah,
you
because
assume like it's regulated. You know it's regulated, like it's being watched. You know they have a license. They know what they're doing because they're cutting your skin. Guess what? Nail technicians also cut your skin
Yes.
when they cut your eponychium, which by the way, that's also a thing. Cuticle is dead skin. Eponychium is a skin that's alive, and they cut the live skin, which then bleeds, and that also could turn into infection if they don't sanitize their tools. So it's crazy the things that I learned. Absolutely insane.
So are there any nail salons that you found that are do all the good stuff?
Yes. So what you want to do, so the first thing, the most easiest thing, is to go for nail salons that do not have jets because they
Okay.
understand, they know that they simply business, right? You're running a business. You
Yeah.
simply don't have that time to
Yeah.
between the 15 minutes. And in reality, you don't even need that. In reality, you don't even need to have a water pedicure. A lot of them now are doing dry pedicure, just like you can do a dry manicure. That whole thing of, soaking your nails, soaking your hands and all that, that is simply for a spa experience. You don't need to do
Mhm.
that. You apply something again on your cuticles, and you remove them and you're good to go. There's no need to soak your hands or feet. So if anything, I would say if you go to a salon that is promoting either a dry pedicure or a jetless pedicure, then they already have that thinking and they most likely are going to give you a better service.
Okay.
And I say, really, if you're not sure, ask your nail tech. So if you have natural nails, the nail files that they use on you, they come with a different grit. So what does that mean? It's how coarse the nail file is. So if you have artificial nails, then the file is really coarse because they obviously have to go through the nail, right? If it's natural nail, then it's more fine. So a natural nail file would be between 180 to 240 grit. So what I tell all my friends is, listen, check the most basic level knowledge from the person that is working on your nails. What file grit are you using? And if they don't know how to answer that, or they give you 100, they're ruining your nails. Because at the end of the day, it's not these products that are ruining the nails. Yes, yes, obviously some are, obviously. But in reality, it's about improper removal. It's about improper application and improper removal. And
Mm.
it's just what I find baffling is that so many women are okay with their nails being so thin and so damaged under their artificial nails, and they're like okay with it. Like I've heard stories of
I
women
think they
say,
think that's just the way it is.
like, how can you think that that's the way it is when you remove your artificial nails and your nails hurt because they're
Yeah,
so thin when they're exposed to air?
that's crazy. Well,
But it
I don't do
happens.
artificial nails, so it's hard for me to understand, but like I get it. Because even I always have my toes done, but
Mhm.
even there, sometimes depending on, to your point, where I get them done or how it's done, they'll take it off and the nails themselves look bad. And
Mhm.
actually, I had about a month or about 2 months ago, I had that happen and I didn't like my nails just looked, they didn't look great. They looked dead. They were white, like they get like those. So I resisted the urge to repaint them and I let them
Mhm.
grow out and they're
Mhm.
got rid of all the icky stuff and they're okay. But like, I can only imagine if you've got gel and fake stuff on, what that's doing to I mean, it's basically like glue.
Um, Again, it's the improper removal
Yeah.
because what it really comes, again, it's a business, right? And nobody wants to pay a lot of money for manicures. I don't know why, because it's still a skill. It requires products
Yeah.
and it requires good quality products. So when you are trying to pay as little as possible, they need to have a higher turnover. If they need to have a higher turnover, that means they're not going to spend as much time as they should removing your nails. That means they're going to hurry up. That means they're going to use electric files. They're going to put them in. They're going to hurry up and make it faster. And what happens at that point, if they're not careful, they're going to remove some of your layers, of your natural
Mm.
layers. And if you continue going back and back and back and back and back, it just, not to say, well, you're never going to be able to get your natural nails back. You will, but you need to really stop that process and
Yeah.
allow your nails to grow in, and really just stay away until they grow in, and then really find somebody that will put in the effort and that will put in the knowledge to really treat them as they should be treated. Like hair. I mean, everybody loves their hair. Everybody always thinks about hair, but for some reason, nails, I don't know. I always call it like the redheaded stepchild, which it shouldn't be, because nails are important. It's the first thing you look, it's on your hands. And what do you do when you
Yeah.
first meet somebody? You shake their hands, right? So
True. If
it's
somebody
quite
has really
fascinating.
bad nails, it's kind of an ick, right?
Or really fake ones.
Or really, yeah.
It's kind of icky.
Yeah, it is. That's no, you're so right. All right, well, let's talk about how you even started this company because clearly you know a shit ton about the industry, about nails, like, but what was the inspiration that made you say, like, I'm going to actually create a line of products?
That's a funny story. So I actually, um, my father had a nail polish company that was sold in Eastern Europe.
Okay.
And he had a partner, and myself and the partner's son were supposed to take over. And I was not recognized as an equal. So I
Because you're
left.
a woman or just
Because I'm a woman, yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Um, so I was like, well, you can F off and I'm gonna start my own. And that's how it started. That's really
Oh,
how it
fascinating.
started.
So is the other one still in business?
So it's actually really unfortunate, because of me, it resulted in a really big rift between my father and his ex-partner. And it was really just really sad because um, him and I had a really great relationship. But it really became really complicated.
Mm.
And after I left, my father ended up leaving the company. And I believe it still exists, I think. I haven't checked.
Wow, what an interesting story. Okay, so then kind of this has been in your genes. I mean, it's sort of
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to do this until, that opportunity sort of came my way. And then at that point, when the opportunity came, it didn't work. It was more of my bull personality where I was like, I'm not going to let you do this. I'm going to do this just to spite you and I'm going to be better. Um, but before that, I really wanted to go to school for fashion. That was really my
Mm.
passion.
That's not
And
so disconnected from nails.
yeah, that's right. Well, kind of, I guess. Beauty, sort of the same. Beauty, fashion, yeah, they go hand in hand. And I went to my parents and I said, I want to go to fashion, FIT. I'm from New York, and they said, absolutely not,
And why
because
was that? They just didn't think it
because
was a
I'm
good
because
career
I'm
path?
Russian and you go into tech. That's
Uh,
what you do. But you
uh,
know what? Can I tell you? They were right. With everything that I'm doing now, besides Maxus, with Licensify and Beauty A-List, they were right because really that passion was born when I was in nail school. That sort of led me to leading two other companies. So I was like, fine. I went to school. I graduated with a management information systems degree. And then again, with my bull personality, I said, fine, you got what you wanted. And now I'm going to get what I want. And I went to work at Zara on the floor. Um,
I love
Just,
that.
and I loved it.
Although that's probably not the best job, but maybe you loved it. I don't know.
I absolutely loved it. To this
Oh,
day,
okay.
it is my absolute favorite job that I ever had
Wow. Okay, do
because
they know that? Zara needs to know that. That's crazy.
yes. I loved it because it allowed me to talk to people. I love talking to people. Every day was something new. I saw beautiful fashion. I saw all this beautiful clothes, and I had my own clients, and they trusted me, and they came in and they looked for me. So, they asked for my feedback, and I would bring them things that I would make them feel good about themselves. And it in turn, made me feel good. So it was really just really special.
And then why did you stop? Because of
Well,
this.
I mean, I stopped because obviously I had to start from sort of bottom up, right? So I started there, then I worked for G3 in sales. They're a big licensing company in New
Hmm,
York. So I was working there, and then at that point, the opportunity came with my father. So that's
okay.
why it sort of made me shift.
Yep. All right. So then when you decided to start your own company, what did you do differently than what your father's company had done? Did you have different products? Did you have a different sales strategy?
So they did not sell in the United States. So it was a completely different animal. They sold in Eastern Europe. That's why originally they brought us on to sort of expand the sales to United States.
Okay.
And it was really starting from the beginning because I didn't know anything. It was learning about how wholesalers work. It was learning about how distributors work, how fillers work, learning about really just the industry from the ground up.
Hmm.
And when it came to products, I really, with everything that I learned from school, I wanted the line to concentrate on natural nails. That was really my
Which
thing.
is interesting because I feel like at the time, the trend was the opposite.
Yes.
And so you were groundbreaking in that, you saw a need because I think it's going back to that. I think there are a lot of people that are like, because the upkeep of the fake nails is quite a lot. It's
It's a lot.
a
It's a lot of
lot.
money. Yeah.
Money, time,
Yes.
and if they start looking chipping or look, it's awful. They look
Hmm.
really bad. So you
Hmm.
can't, you really do have to. So you decided natural nails, which again, I think was before its time because at that point it seemed like the fake nails were starting to take off.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in natural beauty. I'm a big believer in, yes, you can do things to sort of make these slight changes to make you feel better about yourself, and we should take care of ourselves. But I'm not a big believer of this uh, saturation of what's happening now with the extensions and the
Yeah.
fillers and all of that. Not to judge them, for to each their own. But sort of that was my thing, is that when it came to nails, I wanted to manufacture products that would really make somebody feel good about their natural nails.
Yeah, I love that. And then how did you come, like, how did this product come about?
It came about just from knowledge of what works when it comes to skin and
Mm.
nails, and knowing that jojoba is what really one of the best ingredients. So it mimics the human sebum that we ourselves secrete. So our body is able to absorb it in the best way. So that's why when you see it in other formulations, because it's more expensive, and people understand, even though they claim jojoba, in reality, it's like on the bottom somewhere in the ingredient list.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And you
but
only
for
have, like I said, 4 or 5 ingredients in this.
Yes, yes, and the same thing with our hand cream as
Four.
well, is that jojoba is really the the driver of this product. And it's not just for cuticles. Obviously, in the beginning, that's really what I launched it, with the goal of helping cuticles. In
Yeah.
reality, you can really use it anywhere in the body. Like I put it on my daughter's feet. Uh,
Oh,
she
smart.
has dry feet, so I put it on there, or just on anywhere dry skin. It could be a multi-use product.
I love that. Okay, and what's your favorite product of all the things you've made?
The hand cream.
Ah, the hand cream.
I I love the jojoba as much as and I still very much do. But the hand cream is more moisturizing.
Mm,
It's really fast absorbing, and it really has this really incredible calming smell to it. It's not a fragrance. Everything that I put in is absolutely natural.
mm,
So it has this, it's Palmarosa oil, which everything that I put inside my products has dual sort of benefits to it. So while it has a beautiful smell to it, it's antioxidant and it's anti-inflammatory. But it also just sort of smells like rose.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that I did get feedback from Wendell House and they said people love the hand cream too. So
Mhm.
you are correct. That seems to
Yes.
be a winner. And it's
Yes.
also nice to just throw in your bag, to have a product that you can kind of bring with you because it's true. It's like the weather now is so crazy and I travel so much that I'm always like I feel like my skin is just a mess. It's like so dry and ugh.
Yes, yes. And every time you wash your hands and every time you sanitize them, right? So
Yep.
you are depleting that moisture level, so you need to replenish it. So that's
Yeah.
why it's so important.
So what do you have in the hopper? Is there anything that you're working on that you want to share?
Um, well, I think the next thing is going to be feet. I think we're
Oh,
going to be going for feet next. Specifically dry heels. I know that a lot of us suffer from that. So I think that's going to be my next big adventure.
I think that's a super smart idea. I don't think there are a lot of products out there that are made for that. And I do think the product needs to be a bit more, I don't know if it's richer or thicker or just be able to penetrate that thicker skin that you
Yep.
have. But
Yep.
it's gonna, like I think that's so smart. I love it. Well, I'm gonna, as soon as you get it, I want to be the one of the first ones to buy
You will
it.
be
So
the first one. I promise. I make a promise.
yay.
This is it.
That would be amazing. All right. Well, this was so fun chatting. Is there any parting words you'd like to share about nails, about your business, about being an entrepreneur?
Um, I mean, I have so many. I think the number one thing is that I wished for more women to advocate for themselves
Yeah.
when it comes to getting beauty services. That's really what it comes down to. When it comes down to buying products, look at what's in them. Don't let these big companies um, put on some marketing words. And for you to buy the product, actually look at the ingredients. When you go to get beauty services, make sure you're getting them from someone that's qualified, that is cleaning their tools,
Oh,
and that
yeah.
is really doing the right thing. Because if you don't advocate for yourself, no one else will do it for you. And then nothing will change. The status quo is not going to change. We're going to continue using subpar products and we're going to continue going to providers that are hurting us and that is not being reported on.
Well, I think getting the word out is half the battle. Like I didn't even know a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, but it
I,
makes so much sense. So I'm so
yes.
glad that you're talking about it and you're spreading that word because now when I go back to New York, which I'm going tomorrow,
Oh, cool.
and I'm going to want to get a pedicure, I'm definitely going to be searching for probably a different place than I might normally go.
Yes.
But I think it's excellent advice. So thank you so much. Lovely to chat,
Yes, you
and
as
I
well.
hope you have a lovely rest of your week.
Yes, you as well. Thank you so much.